Our top stories tonight, we introduce two new policies that have stirred mixed feelings in the community as the new school year begins, as well as highlight two national award-winning business students. All that and more with this week's Kram.
Hey Rams, welcome back to this year's K-Ram. My name is Fiona Vachta.
And I'm Berdul Govin.
We hope you had a great summer and are having a smooth transition back into the school year.
To start us off, a new cell phone policy which has been integrated into the Rampart routine does spark controversy and mixed feelings. Fiona Vachta wanted to get all of the information on what this year will look like with these new policies.
The new phone policy has been a surprise to many students, and there have been a lot of opinions being voiced about this big change in the classroom. The phone policy has affected the day-to-day of many students, the responsibility of teachers, and the general expectation of the classroom.
As the year kicks off, our new school policies are being enforced, one of which being a phone policy. Instead of being able to have their phones on them, students have to keep them in a cell pocket throughout the duration of class. With this new change, students want to know how the policy came about and why it was put into place.
We decided to put the phone policy in place because we started realizing how much of a distraction phones were being in classroom on student learning and student engagement. At the beginning of class, teachers need to have a system, a procedure, a routine as to how they collect phones.
Many of our Rampart students and staff have strong opinions about this policy.
My initial reaction was kind of surprise. At first I thought it was a whole district-wide policy, but when I found out it was more of a Rampart community-based thing, it left me with some confusion on wondering what provoked this kind of change and really how they plan to go about this.
I feel like it wasn't that big of a deal for me because I'm not on my phone during school anyways. I was surprised, honestly, because I know that phones have been an issue, but I didn't think this would actually happen.
I was more relieved that we hadn't had, it wasn't too strict. It was just a cell, our phones are still in the classroom.
You know, I won't lie, I was using my phone in class too, but now that I see it, it kind of makes sense because all these people were so addicted to their phones.
Initially, it was a little bit of a hot topic for sure. I think there were a lot of students who didn't know what it was going to feel like. It's not just a student thing, it's an adult thing too, so we're all having to adjust to it. But I do think that overall, I know parents are very happy, and I know it's been surprising to kids that they actually are feeling a benefit from it too.
The phone policy has affected many students in their learning, and Kram was interested in hearing how they have felt this effect personally and how teachers have adapted their classroom to fit the policy's needs.
There's some opportunities where I haven't got to use my phones in ways that would have been beneficiary to me, such as taking pictures of the board or contacting people in my Stuco class or my DECA class. That would be important for me to advance the project that I'm working on.
I think it's helping me be more focused.
For yearbook, instead of having to go the old school method of handwriting every single interview, they can have their phones to interview out in the hallway. Once they come back in, they transcribe their audio, they listen to it, they get their interview written down, phones go back in the pockets.
I mean, it's impacted a lot. You know, I've guided study hall and I don't have homework every single day. And I don't have a lot to do for a 70-minute class.
I think kids are being more productive with their independent work time in class.
You can zone out whenever you want, so not having your phone doesn't change if you're engaged or not in class.
With downtime in the class, it's a lot louder in my classes, which I'm a big fan of because that means they're talking to each other.
Kram inquired students and staff about whether they have noticed a change in other students or in the classroom setting as a whole.
Yeah, I think everybody's more focused even if they don't like the phone policy.
Yes, they're more talkative, more interactive with one another, especially during lunch as we're not so focused on social media.
Music is such a big part of this generation, and it makes me kind of sad that we took that fully away from them because I could see a lot of students struggling to focus without music, and I understand their love for that.
I feel like by adding this no phone policy, they're kind of making it worse than it was before. People are now just talking about not having their phones than just doing their work with their phone.
Some people prefer not having the policy in place, while others see the benefits.
I prefer being able to have our phones because, I don't know, in the event that if something were to happen at school, it's important that you can contact whoever.
I definitely see both sides. I think in terms of engagement and like the learning environment, it's helped a ton. So I'm for it for that.
While there are still some strong opinions about this change, the main focus and goal is to keep the Rampart community successful in the way that is seen as best. This has been Fiona Vachta reporting for KRAM.
It is important to follow these new procedures and be aware of why they were put into place.
Another aspect of the Rampart routine, Freshman First Day, is an annual event that allows freshmen the opportunity to get a look at Rampart and meet their classmates before the first day of school. Mridul Govind got an inside look at the event and captured the spirit that goes on during this day.
A day before the rest of the student body piled in for the first day back, a large group of Rampart High School upperclassmen came back early to make sure the freshmen knew they belonged here at Rampart. Let's Go Rampart was the general theme of the morning tradition that welcomes freshmen into our school every year. Marked by pomp and pizzazz, Rampart High School Student Council, along with a plethora of peer leaders, joined forces before the first day of school to welcome in the incoming class of 2028. The event entailed a mix of outdoor activities, indoor learning, and an overall introduction to the environment Rampart High School has to offer. KRAM went and asked teachers about the background of this event.
Freshman First Day is an opportunity for the freshmen to come to Rampart a day before everyone else, and they just get to understand what our climate and our culture is all about. So they'll get to play games and get to know one another, so there's that bonding element with the other freshmen. They also get to see their teachers for the first time and figure out where their classes are. So really it's just an opportunity for them to come and see the building and get to know the other freshmen.
So being a former Ram myself, being an alumni of this high school, this place means the world to me. And so I always want to make sure that the sense of comfort and the sense of home that I feel is what others feel here too. It's been, this place has been my home since I was 14 years old. And it's just one of those things where if we have the opportunity to get one-on-one with kids, to talk to kids, to make them feel comfortable, make them feel at home, we're going to do everything in our power to do that.
I think it was highly successful. We surveyed everyone afterwards, the freshmen, the peer leaders, and the staff, just to ask for feedback, because we always want to make the event as great as it can possibly be. And I think overwhelmingly the information we got was really good. I think people enjoyed it.
As it stood, Rampart roared with a crowd of freshmen as mixed sentiments went around the new class. We tuned into what some students thought of their new school.
My first impression of Rampart was that it was scary because it's a high school, but it's pretty chill.
My first impression of the teachers were that they actually knew what the subjects they were teaching were and that they were really nice.
They were all really nice, and I think I'm gonna like all of my teachers this year.
The most memorable part of Freshman First Day was the activities outside in the stations and meeting new people.
Probably just playing games with everybody outside on the turf field. That was probably the most memorable.
The upperclassmen and staff of Rampart know that the class of freshmen have a lot to learn and plenty to get involved in with this school year. Welcome, freshmen. This was Mridul Govind reporting for KRAM.
We hope Rampart has offered a colorful welcome to the freshmen this year. If you are interested in bringing this annual event to life next year, stay tuned for more information at the end of the school year on how to sign up to be a peer leader in someone's first impression of our school.
Speaking of colorful, our Rampart Student Council has brought a comeback of the color dance.
Nate Bergstrom brought a camera to the dance and captured this lively event.
School dances play a large role in high school culture and tradition. Here at Rampart, we decided to add some color to the first dance of the year. Students share what made this dance special to them.
I'd say what I liked about it was the energy of the people there. It was very easy to feed off of other people's energy.
My favorite thing about the color dance was probably the people and the music. It was very fun, it was very active, a lot of people were very nice. The music was really good, there was good songs.
It was a lot more fun. I liked how interactive it was. It wasn't like the glow dance where you just kind of stood around and looked at people. I liked how much we interacted.
Dances give students a good chance to come together as a school and a community.
I mean, it kind of introduced me to how people do their thing here and how everybody's different. They can have a different style as freshmen, seniors, and sophomores are all different from each other.
Dances are just, they're kind of a historic part of high school, right? They're something that kids look forward to. I think the addition of the color dance and the snowball in the winter really is just something that gives all students the opportunity to come together, to just have fun, to, kind of just be together, enjoy it, and dance and have a good time. So I think it's a huge community builder for us.
This dance went well, but our school community is always looking for ways to improve.
Maybe don't use chalk because the amount of blue from blowing my nose the day after was crazy.
I think that overall it went really well. One of our things that we've talked about is doing our color powder a little bit earlier, like kind of closer around the sunset time, so that we can see the color powder a little bit better instead of it being dark when the color powder is thrown. I think that our playlist was awesome. We just ran off of a playlist that was put together by our exec council. That was a highlight for a lot of students, but I mean overall it went super well. We welcome all feedback for future years, but it was a good one this year for sure.
Consider going to the next school dance to build some long-lasting memories. This has been Nate Bergstrom reporting for Kram.
What an amazing start to the school year.
As a multitude of new and exciting events usher in the school year, Rampart can remember its more central themes, specifically that of competition.
FBLA is one of those competing programs that Rampart has had long-standing. Maya Mills talked to the FBLA group to find out what went into the preparation and success of their win over the summer.
Future Business Leaders of America, or FBLA, is a great club for anyone interested in business. Our FBLA club has received many awards at national competitions, including 2 national award winners this summer. Future Business Leaders of America, or FBLA, is a club that competes in many different business events and has several community service and social networking opportunities. 2 amazing students traveled to Orlando to compete in FBLA Nationals over the summer. Through their dedication, they brought home a win. Anisa, Deitrick, and Yasmin Amadu competed in the Introduction to Business presentation event and swept the competition.
We competed in Introduction to Business presentation, so it was just like a presentation in front of the judges.
The experience with nationals was really fun. It was about a week, and I got to spend time with my friend, and I also got to meet new people.
It was really crazy. We didn't really expect to win. It was a surprise at all of the levels, but it was me and Yasmin, that was my team member at Nationals. And when we heard our names being called at the stage, it was just like crazy.
FBLA is a great club for students interested in business, marketing, and technology. We interviewed students involved in the club to explain why they joined and what events they compete in.
FBLA is Future Business Leaders of America. It is a career and tech student organization that anybody at Rampart can join.
It's a really great opportunity to get more involved with Rampart and also just to learn more about business, which is a skill that you'll use. It's just a really great way to meet other people from around this area and feel more confident about yourself and learn about the business world.
It's a great way to meet new people. It's a great way to network. Students that are interested in business, it helps enhance knowledge in those content areas. And it's also great for college resumes, job applications, there are scholarship opportunities involved. So it really enhances a resume or application.
Competitions are a key part of what FBLA does for students and teachers alike. The competitors shared their experience competing and winning.
I competed in Introduction to Business presentation with Yasmin and Anisa.
I mostly do prepared speaking and healthcare administration. The past 4 years, I've done website design and the journalism test, and I've gone to state every year for the website design.
So they compete depending on which event they're in either their test event, their presentation event. The project ones are done ahead of time, but they do their presentations and tests at districts. There's also workshops to attend that are put on by different businesses.
Students in FBLA overcome multiple obstacles when competing. We asked Anisa and Yasmin what some of their challenges were.
So a few challenges that I have faced while doing FBLA were just finding the right resources and the time in order to make our presentation the best that we could possibly make it.
I think it was hard at first because we didn't really know what to expect when we got to the competitions. We didn't know how it would be or how the judges would take our presentation and what they would think of us. But once we got past the original competition at districts, we had more confidence, and that allowed us to make it to nationals later on.
Let's congratulate Anisa, Deitrick, and Yasmin Amadu on their success. If you're interested in joining FBLA and competing too, there's an interest meeting Wednesday, September 18th at 2:55 p.m. in room 410. This has been Maya Mills reporting for Kram.
Congratulations, FBLA, on your outstanding win.
While the phone policy is a school-wide change, some changes have been made in the district as well. One of these is the new flag policy that has had an impact on classrooms throughout District 20.
Thanks, Badul. This summer, a district leadership committee updated an administrative policy about flags displayed in our school. The expanded policy has sparked debate among staff and students throughout the district.
Many of you may have noticed that some of our halls in our schools feel emptier than in previous years. This is mainly because of our school District 20 flag policy. We went in depth to find out the policy specifics. This is administrative policy, which means that a district leadership committee made up of executive leadership with assistance from district legal team changed the policy, not the school board. The policy states that only U.S. and Colorado flags can be displayed in a D20 school. The only exception is when a lesson is about another culture. The flag can be shown during that lesson and immediately removed afterwards. Our students had very mixed opinions about the new policy.
I think it's rather an odd policy. I think it's kind of unnecessary, but I also am not hard against it either.
It's a tiny bit petty. I mean, it's not like it's this huge beacon of why we need only the 2 flags that we're allowed to display. I feel like it's okay to display any country's flag or any organization's flag. I don't really see the reason to it.
I really don't think it's a good idea. It's, again, super vague, and it just kind of limits what you're allowed to have in your classroom, and that affects like a lot of teachers and students here, and it's just kind of weird.
I just think it's unnecessary. I don't think that flags are necessary, but I also think it's not a horrible thing to have in the classroom or to decorate any part of the school with, as long as it's not obscene.
Staff at Rampart are dealing with the changes in their own classrooms.
Personally, no, I do not agree with the policy. I understand the stance of where they're going. The way that they've done it is not the appropriate way of approach, and at the end of the day, we are removing a community aspect of the school.
I think all the teachers should have the freedom to post whatever they need to post, as long as it is appropriate.
We are a melting pot. We are a place that should be having all these cultures, and we should be honoring and respecting all of those cultures.
I feel like flags are something that show not only our students and where they're from, but also we can learn a lot about culture and things through flags.
We also asked our principal why this policy was put into place.
So the flag policy change was made just to honor some neutrality around school and allow us to stay focused on classroom instruction and not having debates or concerns about types of flags being hung around the building. And so they have us just hanging American flag and the Colorado flag.
While Ms. Sanders did explain why the policy was put into place, she does have hope for the future.
You know, we are a school of many students with a variety of cultures, and we want to be able to honor that. And part of that is their flags. I think that part of American culture and American history is our American flag, and I think for our students that come to us from other countries or other backgrounds, it would be awesome to be able to honor them. We are the ESL magnet school, so we have a ton of students in our English as a second language program, and I would love to be able to honor them through their flags and through their history and their culture.
We asked District 20 leadership to be interviewed. The communications department gave us an email clarifying the policy, but could not provide an interview. The email restated that flags must be U.S. or Colorado, and that language was added to allow teachers to show other flags during lessons only. Some might find it controversial, but Rampart is complying with the new policy this year. This has been Caleb Bozier, reporting for Kram.
Thank you, Caleb, for filling us in on what has been going on with district decisions. If you are interested in voicing your opinion, school board meetings are held once a month and have a time for public comments. Well, Rams, that's all we have for you today. We'll see you next week.
This has been Fiona Vachta
And Radul Govin, reporting for Kram.
Oh, it's hard.
Sorry, I just felt like a rush, dude. Like, I very quickly. I'll try one more time. Why do we want to do that?
The event.
Can we redo that? I just said back a comeback.
I was like, back a comeback. What? I was like, did we write that?
Back.
Was that good?
That was incorrect.
Bad.
I said transition weird.